All right, this is a Salty Sports Show recording, not a traditional episode. Lincoln, Steven, and I have all had some conflicting schedule things. Um, you know, it's gonna be, it's gonna be, just me going off of these last couple weeks of the season. So let's start. Colts beat the Jets in an entertaining game. Cool seeing Mike White and John Johnson. Once to Pittman, great connection. Jonathan Taylor looked good. Colts won an entertaining one. We got a scoregami. Um, Falcons win it and beat the Saints. They almost blew it. They had a big lead and they blew it, but they came back and won. Browns first game without Odell, dominant win over the Bengals on the road. Like the Falcons, though, things have soured for the Browns since, but that was a good one to have. Uh, but we'll talk. Let's get into the real meat of the week. Um, the Bills and Cowboys both losing shocking ones to the Jags and Broncos. In the Bills' case, they just couldn't get offense and let the Jaguars' defense hold them down. Shocking loss there for the Cowboys. I don't know what went wrong. Maybe Dak was still feeling hurt. Who knows? He was missing some throws, a lot of drops. They covered well, and Denver won 30-16. Um, Embarrassing for both teams, but as we'll see, both of them bounce back strong. But the Ravens beat the Vikings in a thrilling overtime game. Lamar Jackson played some hero and led them to a very strong win. Um, as for the Chargers, they went to Philadelphia and won 27-24. But couple big prime time games. Well, not this one is prime time, but the Chiefs beat the Packers 13-7. Really quiet game for both offenses, but Jordan Love in his first start looked not, he didn't inspire much confidence. The Rams first consecutive prime time loss the last 2 weeks. Titans winning absolutely kicked the crap out of them. Kevin Byard been the best safety in the league this season specifically. Um, Bears and Steelers, that was the most entertaining game of the week. Um, really good primetime showdown. Looked like the Steelers were pulling away, but Bears got back in there with a punt block. I think that was a touchdown. Justin Fields looked good in a clutch drive. However, their defense really botched it, and they kicked the game-winning field goal. And Fields even led them down into field goal kind of range again. I mean, it was a 65-yarder, but yeah. And there was a controversial call, really, really bad call with the referee clearly hip checked the player and just threw that flag for no reason. It's really awful. But yeah, if I was going fast, this is kind of a speed just recap. Um, the Dolphins last week continued winning, beating the Ravens. Ravens have been really inconsistent. Story of the AFC, but Dolphins' second win in a row. They've looked good these past couple weeks, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Brissett started. I felt like he was in pain. He might looked bad. They brought Tua in midway as a reliever and kinda almost, and he won it. Saints and Titans, very close game. Saints almost came back and won, but the Titans survived. Um, as for the Cowboys and the Bills, both responded to their absolute humiliations with blowouts. Bills going in and pretty much ending Mike White's, um, the legend. Um, so that kind of that's kind of sad to see. But as for the Cowboys, they just dominated the Falcons. Uh, Atlanta just couldn't keep up at all. They scored a field goal on their opening drive after Dallas got a touchdown. Didn't score again. Cowboys won 43-3. Very dominant game on all sides of the ball. That running attack wasn't too great. Total really something around 80 total yards of rushing. Well, maybe more because Dak did get a rushing touchdown, so if you include his, but running back rushing wasn't too great. But Dak was on fire. CD was great. Gallup looked really good in his return. If he caught that ball, man, he could have had like a 100-yard touchdown. Well, not 100, but like it would have been a really big one. As for uh and big thing, three starting corners all got picks. Trevon Diggs, Jordan Lewis, and Anthony Brown. Um, Steelers and the Lions tied. Bit of a shocker there. Dan Campbell doesn't lose a game but doesn't get a win either. Both missed very big chances to win in overtime. The Lions missed a field goal. The Steelers fumbled in field goal range. Patriots absolutely hammered the Browns. So just like the Falcons, that feel good high is kind of gone. Bit of a shame. Um, the Panthers, Cam Newton's back. He signed, and they he didn't play. He had a couple snaps. Both of them were touchdowns, but PJ Walker got most of the reps. Cam will be in for next week. The Cards are missing key pieces and lost 34-10 to the Panthers, who very impressive victory to kind of bounce up. Hopefully, we get to see more of Cam. I attended this game in person, the Vikings and the Chargers. Vikings had a very impressive game. They dominated ball control. Justin Jefferson looked very, very good. Chargers, their defense really couldn't get their offense back on the field, which was ultimately the most costly thing. Seems like they're not really utilizing Herbert to the best they could. Staley's staff, I think they need to make him take more downfield shots. I don't think that trying to play, ball possession is working out with the group that they have. They should absolutely, but yeah, their defense really struggled to give Herbert enough ball. The Vikings just did a good job controlling possession and maximizing points with so much time taken out with each possession. Got some key turnovers. Um, and that was kind of the big thing there. So very good win for Minnesota, who gets themselves back in the playoff race. Eagles statement win in Denver. It was looking close. The Eagles took over though with some key turnovers and won the game. Um, there is a surprising look in the playoff race. Packers hosted the Seahawks. Russell Wilson, another dud in Lambeau. Seems like a theme of his career. Um, but the Packers defense really took over and won that game for them. Chiefs at Raiders, Patrick Mahomes, he looks like he's back. Dominant victory for them. And the 49ers on Monday night continued to assert their dominance over the Rams, 5 straight wins against them, which was a big one too because the Rams, they lost Robert Woods unfortunately, but had Odell Beckham coming in, as well as joining with Von Miller, big trade deadline acquisition. But the Niners ran riot and found ways to still beat them. As for Thursday night, Patriots shut out the Falcons, who haven't scored a touchdown since the Saints game and points since the first drive of their Cowboys game. 25-0. Mac Jones kind of managed the game, did well, made the throws he needed to make. Didn't really push the ball down the field. Matt Ryan not looking good, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of a quick recap. Not really able to give the details here that Lincoln Steven would. But we're just gonna. I'm not really gonna give actual predictions, but let's talk about the state of the NFL. It's pretty wild. Um, Ravens, Bears, Packers, Vikings. I mean, we have some important games, and I want to maybe just talk about those important games. Packers at Vikings. Essentially, this is the Packers' chance to spiritually clinch. I mean, even the Vikings win, I don't think that's in doubt, regardless. If but this is important because the Packers need to chase the 1 seed, and the Vikings need to stay on pace for the playoff push. Their schedule gets increasingly difficult, so getting a big win like against Green Bay would be absolutely monumental. Um, Saints and Eagles, kind of a shocker. I kind of penciled the Saints as a team that had a chance in the preseason, thought the Eagles were going to finish last in the East, so kind of shocked that they're there. But if the Saints win, that is a very, very, very bad uh, loss for Philly to take and puts them in a bit of a hole in trying to make the postseason. And if we're talking about if they win, that's a very big win for them because now they get up to 5 wins and also have a significant number of tiebreakers against key NFC South rivals for position into making the postseason. Um, Other key games here: Bengals and Raiders, both teams kind of on the bubble. Steelers and Chargers. The winners of each game are going to have massive advantages. As for the game that probably will draw the most attention for its outright quality, Cowboys and Chiefs, two elite quarterbacks going at it, elite offenses. Dallas will miss Amari Cooper though, but it'll be interesting to see. So yeah, this is I guess looking at it, pretty interesting. This isn't really a very long one. Just kind of recapping in a rushed fashion these past couple of weeks. But yeah, I mean, just trying to get something out. I don't want to, leave some of these things undiscussed, even if they were under discussed. I am looking forward to watching Cowboys Chiefs. Hopefully, we'll win. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean this is pretty fun. Some very big weeks coming up. I mean this is the crucial stretch. Um, this is where teams will make or break their postseason chances. Some of them are going to have some really big key matchups that, well, you're going to have to win if you're going to want to make the postseason. You're going to want to have to win if you want to win your division. You're going to have to win if you want to get higher seeding, maybe potentially the bye, the 1 seed. So yeah, it really gets good, and then next week will be the Thanksgiving games, and then I mean this is when football season. I mean it gets cold, and the games mean so much more. Um, so yeah, I mean this is gonna be super fun. Absolutely, just love this. If we're a more proper episode will come out next week, we'll talk about this week's games. And we'll talk about baseball, we'll talk about basketball, we'll talk about hockey more in depth then. But for today, I mean, that's just what I was gonna do. So thanks for watching a very short, kind of just recap past couple weeks in football. Just wanted to put a video out there. So I'll see you around.